brand new trail through the woods. Oh,
and there's so much rock in it, it looks like I put gravel on it. Other side note, take a look at all this thickness. I believe we had a comment from the very first video from here about this being a deer desert. Because they looked at it at the winter time. 380, 480, about 500 bucks worth of stone on there so far, which isn't too bad compared to Illinois prices. This would have been 750. This will be the access right here. Big corn and beans on both sides and regen.
Regen in the middle?
In the middle.
Nice.
I may have to go with more perennials due to time constraint. The gentleman that just passed away, God rest his soul, this was part of his family land, and he called this the Sawmill Road because something that's odd on this piece of property as I've been looking, something that's critical to deer during the summer and something that's critical to turkeys is I can't find any ragweed. And ragweed is such a good food source for deer during the summer. It's 41% protein.
We're talking about wild clover and how it takes over fields. Like, it looks kind of like Lespedeza to me.
That's green.
And all that
On the line.
Cheetavore, which you bring in some vegetables, but you're like 75% meat-based on your diet. Still no sugar. And then there's keto, where you're eating a lot of salad, a lot of...
Hey, what the heck is this? Is this Lives That Are Rich and Famous in Missouri?
It's what grown-ups do. They wash their car. Kapper.
Yeah, but
they wash it.
You mean somebody else is washing it for you?
I washed it because I paid for it.
Wow. I could do this where just two guys wash the car. I suppose they scrub it for you too and wax it. Oh, that's pretty. What town are we in here anyways?
Jefferson City, the state capital of Missouri.
Jeff City. So is it
The
pulling?
only thing missing is a cocktail for you.
I know.
There's an open container in Missouri. You could be drinking right now.
What kind of friend are you? Why didn't you set me up
Selfish.
with one? So
I don't want to put up with your... You already tried to spill in my truck once.
It's pulling the truck right now?
Yeah.
That's weird. I feel like
So I guess I'm not driving. I could be drinking right now.
You could be right now. I can't believe you didn't hook me up. Oh yes. It's pretty neat, man. Lickety split.
Split $30 a month. Unlimited car wash.
Nice.
Several locations to choose from.
Oh, look at how clean that window is now.
Now we're gonna get a blowy.
It's good seeing my buddy Felipe again. $23. This is like 32, 33 in Illinois.
Oh yeah. Here. If you're buying.
I'm buying.
Come on. Come.
My treat.
Come.
Yeah, Phil wanted some kind of like $100 bottle of champagne, the yuppie he is and all, but we couldn't find it. Now we're at the Manly store. What store is this? Farm? What is it?
Buckeye.
Buckeye?
Buckeye.
Buckite.
Let me make sure I get the cheap stuff though.
Oh yeah, let's burn off some new food plots, baby. Burn off some new food plots.
They are definitely cheaper than Rural King on this stuff.
So DEF fluid, $7.99. That's 2.5 gallons. I was buying that. That stuff goes for 20 to 25, 26 bucks. Phil's like, is that a good deal? I'm like, yeah. It's 1.4 gravel I got to Rolla.
Oh, okay.
And then of course the driveway's a mile, but yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, so you're about the same.
Yeah, good
That's
factory.
Rolla.
But I don't count the private drive as gravel road.
Well, I get that.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
quite
with a mile
the same.
alone, you kind of do.
Well, yeah, I guess, all right, so 2.4 until we hit asphalt.
Right. Yeah, that's about the same as me. I'm a little over 2.
All right, made it to Felipe's, the drag. Now it's time to relax.
Yeah, you could probably see them from the house.
Buckwheat coming up.
Oh, nice.
That is 1 week old.
Cool. So what is it? Buckwheat and what?
Just buckwheat.
Just buckwheat?
Just
Okay.
buckwheat.
Okay.
I didn't get to work the dirt as much as I wanted. I got a little bit of grass still trying to
I see there's loads of it coming up. I mean, over there it's thick
once
by
it
the
takes
pond.
off. Once it takes off, hopefully it'll drown out. But I can always spray it with clethodim to take the grasses out, because everybody told me it'll be hard to get the fescue from the pasture out.
Yeah.
But so you see that shitty looking yellow stuff?
Yeah.
That's wild clover.
Wow.
And in spots it actually choked the clethodim out.
Wow.
This is going to be natural regen right here. That's what this buffer strip is like for. This I did spray today.
This big area, it's going to be corn and beans or
This
what?
is going to be corn and beans. It's going to be 2 to 1. Corn and beans mixed together, so it gives me more cover coming up and through.
So this will be corn and beans in this area here.
Got to put a fence up here for the cows and a couple of gates to paddock them off, but this will be the access right here.
Oh, I like
middle.
it.
Big corn and beans on both sides and regen
Regen in the middle.
in the middle,
Nice.
because it's got to be a centered access property the way it's laid out. You'll see that new tray. And be able to come right up here with the buggy, walk over and hit either one of those stands if you wanted to.
Yep.
And those will be eventually, those two will definitely be a clover alfalfa chicory mix perennial.
And this one here, corn and beans also.
That'll be corn and beans on that side. If corn and beans fail epically, and I decide that I can't do that, then I will come back and plant it in alfalfa after the fact. That's going to be a green plot, brassica, heavy brassica plot there in the back.
Okay.
They just took that hay off of it today. But that's a pretty good one. It may or may not go to a chicory alfalfa clover mix, depending on work schedule. If I go back to work, I may have to go with more perennials due to time constraint.
Where you found that shed, right? Down
Yep,
this way?
Yep, up this road. Yep. They call this the gentleman that just passed away, God rest his soul. This was part of his family land, and he called this the Sawmill Road because they had a sawmill back what's on the neighbor's property now, but it was their property then. And so, keeping in tradition, we will continue to always call this the Sawmill Road.
Sawmill, nice.
There's no sawmill back there now, but at
yeah.
one time there was a sawmill.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, since that's what he called it, that's what I will call it. buck.
Nice. All right, we're sitting here chilling out. This was on Sawmill Road that we took one of many miles of trails today. That's a decent looking buck here in Velvet. I mean, that's like up to the minute, like literally just popped in the phone.
That's
Very
60
nice.
seconds old.
1 minute old. Nice. All right, so what are we going to look at here?
Okay, so we just had a dozer or a track loader come through and clear this out. They were clearing out for the neighbors. Neighbors came to me, asked if they could push out where the old fence was because a lot of trees falling down. It's getting bad. They want to bring cows on in July on the other property. So I told them go ahead because it works out for me. So they pushed in enough off the old fence line so that I could have a trail. We can keep it clean. I can monitor it. They can monitor it. And it'll be better. And while the dozer guy was here, he pushed off 2 small sections to tie in my to my trails, and then he's got another job he's on right now. When he comes back, he's going to bring that loader over and go cut 2 more trails on the other side of the property, because until he cut this, I had not seen this part of the property.
Nice. So this is brand new right here. Yep. Nothing like a brand new trail through the woods. Oh,
And there's so much rock in it. It looks like I put gravel on it.
Wow.
That's just natural. That's how rocky the Ozark Mountains are.
Yep.
But it doesn't erode because there's so much rock in it. It's like, again, it's like being gravel. I brush hogged this to get the stops down today. I'll come back with that drag now.
Oh, that drag's gonna be perfect.
And dress this up.
Gonna be
And
perfect.
this is gonna be gorgeous. It's a gorgeous trail. Might have to do a little hand trimming, but so this section right here, when we get down to the bottom of the hill, took him about 30 minutes. It would have taken me all day with a tractor to knock that out. And this is a game changer. Makes such a difference.
Oh yeah, I mean, 160 acres is great, but if you can only access 80 of it, what, you know?
Yeah. You know, we need recovery. We need fire brakes. Now that is the neighbor's dozer. He's got 2 small dozers that he owns, but he hired a guy to come in and with a bigger dozer and knock this out. So they've already obviously started putting up fence posts.
Nice.
But this was huge. You couldn't drive here.
Right. Yeah,
weeks
this is
ago.
awesome. This is cool.
Hey, there's nothing like freshly cleared timber to make.
Yeah, that one I might have to edit out. That one out.
Bleep it.
Yeah.
You just bleep it. But you know I'm telling the truth, right?
Oh yeah. I'm almost tempted to run back and grab that drag, and I'll take some video of you dragging this thing.
You can do that.
You're gonna like that drag.
This is huge.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
huge. And I didn't have to pay for this.
Oh, this was the freebie part?
This is the freebie part.
Oh,
All of this along this fence line is freebie.
Nice.
You know, I got good neighbors. Don't get me wrong. I got good neighbors. I had no qualms. I want to get along with my neighbors. This worked out. This is their other small dozer. Big one that did the work is up here.
So why did they leave some trees? Is there a rhyme or reason?
I don't think there was a rhyme or reason. When I talked to the dozer guy, he talked to the doc, and he said, you know, if they look healthy and they're not going to be a problem, you can leave some.
Okay.
I think he didn't want to. I guess, you know, new relationship. He didn't know how I would take it if they went too nuts. I told him take everything they can, push in 30 yards if you need to. I don't care. So we've only got one spot that's a little skinny up here because it's by a washout and there was some big trees there. So I kind of get why it's the narrow spot, but it'll be plenty. Once I get the drag through, it'll be fine. The only real pinch.
Yep, it is a pinch.
But there's so much rock, the buggy's not even really sticking, sinking.
Right. So this here is what we got to do on our new property down here. It needs a road system. Now, I know there's some old ones there, but this is what needs to happen. I mean, we could end up with 10 miles of road system, who knows?
Yeah, so if you can find like old skidder trails, and that's what I did when I marked out part of that we just came through, part of the reason why it didn't take him very long was I found half of it was an old skidder trail, and I said just, clean it up. So if you can find those, and I've got on the other side a big chunk is going to be skidder trail, and then I have one spot that he's going to have to earn his keep of knocking it out. But yeah, you can find them old skidder trails and get a big enough machine. They walk through it faster than you or I can run a skid steer or an excavator on it and knock it out, because it's nothing to them. And it almost makes more sense to do that than to beat up your own equipment. My tractor, I've been backing down these skidder trails and cleaning them up. But at the availability of this machine and how quickly he can push stuff out,
Oh yeah,
why not? And then the stuff that reaches that difficult level of 10, I can't do it with the tractor. I would never have a trail there without a machine.
Yep.
And there's the machine that did the bulk of this work.
You guys can tell this is some steep ground. I mean steep. That's probably a 200-foot drop down here from here to the bottom. So if you look straight across this ditch, you could see the top side, so you could see how steep it goes down and then pops right back up. Let's go for a little ride here. Sure is pretty though right here.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just absolutely adds to the wonderment. Now, so this little section said it took him 15 minutes.
15 for this strip?
15 is just a very, very small strip, but 15 minutes to push this out?
Oh yeah. Imagine, like you said, a tractor, even with my excavator, I mean, first of all, these hardwoods are not easy to get out of the ground. They are not easy to get up. I just tackled a hickory stump at home. I mean, it took me like a half hour to get one of them out. It was a stubborn one.
Yeah, see, I had bush hogged this old skidder trail down to this washout.
Okay.
But all this brush was up here, and I couldn't maneuver the tractor with the washout and get it clean. And and he did this in 15 minutes and was done.
Yep.
Money well spent.
Yep.
And this is a hard bottom weather creek. It's rock down there, so again, you can feel the buggy did not sink. Now, when you were here last, this trail here came around and went up to here. Stopped right up here at the end. Well, I looked at the topo on my X-Hunt, set it up on the tractor, knew about where I wanted to go, and I just started pushing. They're all this thick, so it looked like everything around us, and I just drove the tractor straight up the hill, following the topographical to get there. Another side note, take a look at all this thickness. I believe we had a comment from the very first video from here about this being a deer desert. Because they looked at it at the winter time.
Winter, yeah.
It was either a troll or somebody that just didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah,
look at this cover.
Plenty of browse and cover in here.
And when this dies off for the winter, we'll have food plots to feed them. This is what I was driving through with the tractor. I could not see in front of me. It looked like, just turn the camera that way. That's what it looked like as I was driving through it. And I just was following the topo, hoping I didn't hit a stump. Just go real slow. Take your time. If you hit a stump, you just kind of bump it. You don't tear nothing up that way. Make an adjustment and roll on up.
Are we gonna come out by the road?
Yeah.
This way?
Yep.
Okay.
You can see the gravel dust.
Oh, stuck on the plants and that? Oh yeah, in the air. In the air, yeah. All right, we're up by the road here.
Yep. They'll cut this hay a couple times this year, and then I'm going to turn this into winter wheat. So the deer, when they're bedded down in there, they'll give them more food for the winter. Because that seems to be the MO here, that in the winter time they'll move off to where there's wheat fields. And I'm going to try to keep them here 365. So while Joe's taking a quick break, I'm bringing up some this level. We're going to make a tractor port lean-to get some equipment in up here next to the shop. But I'm trying to bring it up. I've already brought it up 2 foot. I'm using creek rock, they call it here. They literally dig it right out of the creek. It's got a little bit of dirt and mud in it, but it's super cheap. I can get 160 for 160 bucks. I can get 16 ton delivered. So what we're sitting on right now is 3 loads. So that'd be 48 ton. Be 48 ton right there. That's brought it up probably about 1.5 feet. It's getting real close to level. I'm gonna have to put a railroad tie wall up here just so I'm not throwing as much out. I had that at my other place in southern Illinois, and then after I get that up over there and I'll run it back, we're going to offset and bring that lean-to back probably right about in here, so it'll be offset a little bit. It'll be 40 foot. That building's 30 foot wide, or so we'll come back maybe 20 feet, and that way we'll just be inset back just a little bit. But you can kind of, I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see kind of the rise on that. That's 3 loads. That would be 320, 380, 480, about 500 bucks worth of stone on there so far, which isn't too bad compared to Illinois prices. This would have been 750, 800 bucks. And then I've got 2 more loads there to finish it out. I don't think it'll take that much. And they're pretty gracious with that 16 ton. So you get 16 ton, you feel like you get 16 ton. Sometimes you buy stone and it doesn't seem like it's as much as they say it is, but I'm not saying anybody's cheating, it just doesn't go as far. So we'll keep filling that in, and then once that's done, we're going to run a road all the way out to the barn, just so that way when it's wet we're not rutting it up, and we'll just have a little road to the barn, because eventually we're going to bring in some cattle. down the road next year. We got to get some more fencing in and get other things going, but just too much to give them the attention they deserve this year and the conditions that they deserve. So next spring we should have cows on this property.
So Phil just texted me this update here. It's June 5th. I'm working on this video. This is what he's working on right now. Building up this retaining wall for his new lean-to project.
You want to stand up on the bumper or something like that.
Is this going to be a plot or just me?
What this is going to be, we are dead center this way and dead center this way.
Nice.
So this is going to be, I'm going to burn this down tomorrow with Roundup and 2,4-D. I'm going to plant it all in soybeans and corn, and then I'm going to come back this fall and I'm going to hourglass it down the center, so it'll be fat here, neck down at the blind, and then come back and it'll fan back open to, there's a trail opening there. There'll be an hourglass shape in the middle of this. Be an hourglass shape in the middle of that. And so it'll be greens with soybeans and corn on each side. This gives me my access by cutting a trail through the corn and beans to get to my blind. This is set up as a 360 degree blind, or for a 360 degree blind. For rifle, because it's 100 yards that way and 100 yards that way, and then it's 50 yards each direction this way. You'll still be able to bow hunt it, but this is set up for a late season muzzleloader in Missouri, which is around Christmas to January 1st. But this is all going to be food back here, something that the deer just don't have, because the time they start leaving, I will have the vacuum to draw them in.
Yep. Nice. It's pretty. So quiet.
No.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. You gotta have your head on a swivel on this thing, and when you get it going.
Yeah. I pulled up here yesterday after they cut the hay and stood on top of the buggy to make sure I can see all the way down to the ends, and that's at 6 foot, and I'll have a 8 to 10 foot tower up here, hopefully a 3-man blind, and that'll cover this whole area. You know, to be a scent tight, I can keep the windows closed, I can hunt in any direction during that late, they call it primitive season here, but it's muzzleloader, and or during regular rifle season, because we got 10 days of regular rifle season. But that's what this spot is getting set up for almost exclusively. There's an old stand over there and an old stand over there. I'll put stands at the other end where they come and go, but they do move through this direction, and I'm going to keep promoting that because that's a ridge that rolls down that direction. It's steep bedding back off to your hard right. It's steep hill going down that way, but that'll be good bedding down to a ravine. But this will be a hot spot late season for sure. You know, we'll see what it's like during the regular rifle season.
Yeah, nice.
So, but I'm building this all around that section. This is 4.5 acres. I left a buffer for some of that brome grass to grow up, kind of like a miniature version of ryegrass.
Okay.
Or I'm not ryegrass, I'm sorry, switchgrass. If it doesn't do what I want it to, I can come back, burn it off, plant switchgrass around it to give me that edge. But they can bed. Something that's odd on this piece of property, as I've been looking, something that's critical to deer during the summer and something that's critical to turkeys, is I can't find any ragweed. And ragweed is such a good food source for deer during the summer. It's 41% protein. It's great for turkey poults because it gives them an understory that they can hide from avian predators and move around underneath of it. And it's not here. And oddly, it's expensive to buy.
Really?
To buy ragweed seed. I looked at it like a 20-pound bag, 10-pound bag is like $200.
Wow.
It's absolutely unbelievable, but
nice.
a little bit would go a long way.
Yeah.
5 pounds could really change some things. And I like having ragweed. A lot of people don't.
You could probably mix it in natural regen areas. You know?
That's what I'm gonna do. I've got some wild game bird mix, some millet and stuff like that, and I'm gonna try to spread that in some other areas to try to thicken it up and see how it does. But if I have to, I'll buy some ragweed. Once it gets started, you don't have to worry about it. It will proliferate. One plant makes 100,000 seeds.
Oh, nice! Wow.
So a little goes a long way in 3 years.
Yeah. All right, we're talking about wild clover and how it takes over fields, and the cattle don't like it, and the deer don't like it, and I'm like, it looks kind of like Lespedeza to me. So that's
green wild clover. This is as it's matured out and it's drying up, but you can see that leaf is the same leaf right there.
Yeah.
That's the same leaf. This is when it's green, but it's still not very palatable to deer or cattle. It's not good feed. This is Korean Lespedeza right there. It's got a much longer stalk. It looks like it's trying to make a seed head, like it's just bumping out. Yeah, that might even be like a flower or something. I'm not real versed on it. I mean, it's edible, but not palatable. So if your deer are eating that,
there's nothing else to eat.
You ain't got a lot else going on.
So we got this
and that's why it's here. You know, they'll eat milkweed before they eat that. And milkweed's okay. It's nothing great, but it's not bad. But for cattle farmers, they don't like to see that. So on the pastures we're keeping for the cattle, after they take the first cut, I'm going to spray it with 2,4-D and knock back all the broadleaves, including that wild, and then I'm going to dump in red clover. And red clover is good for cattle. It's good for deer. It's not a great pollinator, but bees will pollinate it a little bit. But red clover's got a 3-foot taproot, so it's good for drought conditions. I may even try to put some chicory in that pasture just because it's good. You know, I'm trying to make it dual purpose, that the deer will use it, the cattle can use it, and go from there on the spots we're going to keep pasture. But that's up towards the house. That's not our main hunting spot. This is about an 1.5 acre plot right here. This will be a green plot. This will probably always be a brassica planting, but we'll see. Again, we'll have to see how.
What a nice hunting setup you got.
There's going to be a tower blind back there at the end of it, so for that rifle hunting, I can still catch them coming out. There's a trail over there. You can kind of see some ribbons. There's a trail that goes down the ridge, and the deer come up there all the time. It's very active, but I'll be able to shoot down this other road, and I can also shoot back towards the corn and beans, or catch them as they're coming to the corn and beans. So I'm creating scrape line. I'm keeping it mowed along the wood line edge, and that'll promote a scrape line. We'll put some mock scrapes in there later, a little bit later in the year, some rope scrapes.
Nice.
And just keep laying it out. So it's a lot of work getting it in the first time, but at least we're not clearing trees with an excavator for a week at a time to get 2 acres.
Yeah, exactly.
To get 2 acres. We're clearing land, and somebody cut the hay for me and took it away, so I don't even have the thatch. So all I got to do is burn this off, and I may or may not try to no-till it again. It didn't work with the buckwheat plot because the Tar River doesn't have enough travel in the drill discs. So I had some spots that it was going in fine, and then I'd have a miss. But as big as this is, I may just go ahead and try to no-till it instead of disking it. Again, I'm going to play that by ear. This plot, I'm going to put it in buckwheat to get ready for the fall. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to broadcast. I'm going to kill it off. I'm going to broadcast the buckwheat on it, and then I'm going to run the disc over it real light and just kind of an experiment to see how it does.
Okay.
Kind of a, you know, run that drag over it and kind of just mix it in with the thatch and everything else, and
See what happens.
we'll see what happens.
I like
It's
experiments.
Kind of a test to see, you know, because if that's doable, then that makes things easier. Whereas instead of leaving it all in clover, and just leave it as a clover plot and overseed brassicas in the fall, then maybe I'll turn it in every year and kind of go that route and see how it works. So new property,
It's always an experiment, man.
new choices, new experiment, find out how it works. Some of it we can bring back from what we've done, and some of it we're going to bring back from what we've done and go, well, that don't work in the Ozarks.
Yep.
So we'll do what we can.
Cool. Looking good, man. Progress. I like it. All right, we're talking about space, and I'm going from a 40 by 100 barn to basically chump change, near zero outdoor storage. I got an open barn.
Weiner, excuse me.
But Phil has upgraded his space. This is a nice room right here. This could be a man cave right
Well, I'm
here.
going to put a wall, partition wall, and give Tammy her craft area.
All right.
And then this is for hunting, and then a workout center.
Nice. Good deal. Nice cattle bonus pond.
That's a good pond right there.
Oh yeah, right next to this pond setup. I like it. So is that ridge that we were just on kind of like the center line of the property?
Yeah, it's approximately the center, which is nice because then you're 400 yards each direction.
Yep.
Actually, the property is 2,600 feet by 2,600 feet.
Nice.
And some change, but it is almost a perfect square.
That's pretty in here. Very pretty.
Now this is an old skidder trail.
Wait a minute. No, it can't be 2,600. That's only a
2,600 feet. 2,600.
5,200 is a mile, right? 5,200.
That's a half mile by a half mile.
Oh, half. Okay, yeah. All right.
Half mile by half mile.
Never mind. I was confused. First time in my life.
Yeah, it never happened before. Now this is just a skidder trail that I backed down and just followed it and cleaned it up. There's a lot more of them, but there's a lot more of them. So a little at a time.
Yeah, but cutting new trails on a new property, that's just a good feeling.
Oh yeah, to get the accessibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, you know, even on trails like this, like if you might consider running the disc to loosen it up and then that drag, and it'll really fill them potholes in nice.
But overall, this isn't horrible.
No, this is a good trail right here.
You know, I don't want to loosen it up too much. So unless it's like over there where it's already loose.
Well, yeah.
There's no downside to dragging it. Here, you could maybe loosen it up, whereas this is you know, workable, I guess. You know, with all that rock in it, yeah, it's a little bit rough. Just drink your cocktail down so you don't spill any.
Yeah.
And then every year you kind of expand it a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yeah.
But right now it's just a matter of getting as much in as possible.
So have you marked or have you tracked how many miles of trail you got now?
I haven't tracked it. I'll probably do that when we complete the last set of trails that are getting cut with the dozer. And then, like, I haven't even tracked the new one yet because I haven't drug it out. And then, you know, when it's smooth,
This looks new to me.
Yes, this is new to you. You have not seen this. And it ties into another one. It only came part of the way down. And then I run it around and I tied this in, but I had to come from both directions because I couldn't get the tractor through here. But it is tied together via side by side.
Here, hang on, stop right see you coming up this hill. Yeah, you guys can't really tell, but it's pretty steep right here on this back side where I'm about to walk up. Let's get a cool video of the Polaris coming uphill here.
Cups up for the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, so all of this downfall was in here and I pushed it out with the tractor. So there's another trail that goes down at the end of that field we were just at. It goes down a ridge and then it turns and goes back and circles around to the far back big bean field. So where it meets the property line and it makes that right hand turn, I've marked it out. And he's going to, I brush hog this, but there's a skidder trail and some trails that just got knocked that'll tie back into this trail. That's one leg that he's going to cut. And then the one that he's going to earn every penny. It'll run together. Not that far from the property edge, you can almost see it over there. We're probably maybe 50, 75 yards off of the property line, but we're working away from it little by little on this ridge. So how I marked this for him to find it, I get it on the other one. He liked the way I marked. Man, I like the way you marked him. I said, yeah, because I've had to do this myself before. He said, oh, that shows. So the double entrance right here, he'll cut down here. Now there's no skidder trails, there's no existing trails, and he'll cut down between these two and he'll follow the ribbon, and he should be able to go from ribbon to ribbon to ribbon to ribbon to ribbon and find his way back around. And I'll show you where we pop out. But that's going down along the edge. It's got a hard side.
Oh yeah, that's some rough
hill
country right there.
Could not do that with a tractor. Absolutely could not do that one with a tractor. I could maybe do this one, not as quickly as him, but I could maybe do that one because there's a lot of just trails that just be cleaned. But that one I could not do with a tractor. Nope. That is dozer only work. Not unless you want to wind up in the hospital or the morgue.
Yep.
And I ain't ready for the morgue yet.
No.
Been in the hospital enough in my lifetime that don't matter.
Yeah.
What's another 7 screws?
Yeah, exactly. A couple more pins here and there.
More pieces off the dead guy. Hell, I didn't even get good Napa parts. I got cadaver parts.
Oh, nice.
They literally went to the boneyard to get parts for my body.
Yep. So, are they going to cut this hay on this one?
Yeah, they're going to cut this hay, and we'll fence this off over the winter, and this will be a cattle pasture. I don't think I'll plant this in a food plot, but I will still keep the tower there because there'll be a lot more clover, regular clover in here. And you can see see the difference on how green that is where the wild clover hasn't taken it over. You can see it's just so much thicker.
Yeah.
Such a difference in it. So I'll get that thinned out.
That's pretty. So if you're still with us, thanks. Just so you know, these are all new areas. We're not repeating any trail or any food plot anywhere. Only one time we just kind of crossed a little bit of area from the first food plot, but this is still looking at, that's, how nice a 165 acre piece lays out. So is this like a perimeter trail right here?
So I've got a little 5 acre chunk that's just off to our right. It's got its own deed. And so I'm not going to put a trail on it in case I ever decide I want to liquidate a little bit of, I don't want to have to, I'm not going to pay to put a trail on it. But this is going to be the perimeter trail. This takes us down to the east edge. That's just there to get down to a ravine to hunt over. That's over the top of that 5-acre sliver. This is just a short stunt to make, but then when he pops out, there's these double
Oh,
tape.
so he's going to connect to this one.
He will connect to this one. Yeah.
All right, I see.
Yeah, you can see through the.
I see your fence line right there.
That's the fence line to the neighbor. You can see some ribbon going down in there. I only picked up about 14 ticks.
Well, you don't use bug spray, do you, much?
I did use bug spray. I normally don't, but I did this time. I doused myself.
And you still got
I still got 14
ticks?
Well, 12 yesterday and picked 2 more off today.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Big baby.
Big baby. Big baby. Attaboy.
Okay.
I watched you grow up, kiddo.
All right. You had enough? Oh. Jesus. That's enough.
You're all right?
Yeah, I'll
You
be
need
all right.
CPR or what?
Be all right.